Let me try this again on here. Hold on.
What's his name? I don't want to be pushed around.
Daddy, can you shut the hell up, please?
Yeah, I don't want
Just
to be
shut
pushed.
up, please.
You know, I don't want to be pushed around.
Just be quiet, okay?
What do you mean, be quiet?
I love you.
Can everyone please mute themselves? Thank you.
Yeah, I'll be right with you, Daddy. Hold on.
You put do not disturb, so now I can't even call you. I I need from she was supposed to type up a list of the people who were the speakers for the 2 minute session. Can you get that from her and bring it to me?
I think he's right. He's going to distract.
Everybody, please mute yourself. Please mute yourself.
Today I'm seeing a lot of.
Hello, can everyone mute themselves so we can begin the meeting? Thank you.
19. Muted.
Alice, do you want to open the meeting?
Yes. Chiarichello, please mute yourself. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Community Board One first virtual meeting. I'd like to welcome everybody back. We haven't seen each other in a while, but it's good to get together. And here we are. I hope everybody's well and everybody's doing fine. We will open the meeting with a moment of silence. Let's have a moment of silence and dedicate it to all our first responders, our doctors, our transportation, the farmers who managed to get food on our tables. Also, let's dedicate it to the families that lost loved ones during this time. Also, I'd like us to dedicate it to the people that's out there, for those that are out there fighting for justice. Can we have a moment of silence, please? Thank you. Can we have a roll call, please, Jerry?
Okay, people are going to have to unmute themselves for the purpose of the roll call. Gina Argento, Bogdan Bakarowski.
Jerry,
Who's speaking?
this is Tom Burrows. It looks like some of the board members are in the attendees area, not in the participants. So I don't know how you get them out of one place to the other.
Lisa Bamonte, Gina Barros, Tion Brooks, Eric Brusitis, Tom Burrows,
Here,
Iris Cabrera, Phil Caponegro,
Present.
Frank Carbone, Stephen Chesler,
Here.
Michael Chiricella,
Here.
Teresa Cinciata,
Present.
Giovanni D'Amato,
Here.
Aaron Drinkwater, Arthur Dibinowski, T. Willis Elkins,
Here.
Julia Amanda Foster, Chairperson Fuller,
Here.
Joel Goldstein, Joel Gross, Sonia Iglesia, Moisha Indig, Bozina Kaminsky,
Are we
Avram
going to
Katz,
be able to hear any sound now?
William Klagsbold, Ryan Coonan, Joel
Jerry,
Landau,
can you hear me?
Marie Leanza, Abraham Leibovitz, Yoel Lowe, Trina McKeever, Sante Michelli, Sante Michelli. Can people hear me?
Yes.
You got to unmute and say yes, here.
I see Mr. Michelli's photo.
Dante, you got to unmute
You
and
have to
say yes.
unmute yourself and answer the roll, please. You have to unmute yourself and answer the roll. I don't know. I can see his picture. but I can't hear him. So I guess we could all agree that he's here, right? But he's not answering the call. Sante Michelli will be marked present because I have a visual with him. Toby Moskowitz. Martin Needleman. Rabbi Niederman. Karen Nieves. I can see you, Karen. Unmute yourself, answer the call, please. All right, I can't hear her, but I will mark her present. I have visual.
I'm here, present.
Mario Damarak. Janice Peterson. Dana Racklin.
Here.
Isaac Sofer. Rob Solano. James Stewart. James, I can see you. Answer the call. Del Teague. Del Teague. Del, I can see you. Unmute yourself. Answer the roll. All right, I'll mark Del Teague present because I have visual, but I can't hear her. I don't know if she can hear me. Tommy Torres. Hello. Tommy Torres. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Okay. William Vega. William Vega. Maria Vieira. Stephen Weidberg.
Yeah.
Simon Weiser.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Jerry, did you hear me? It's Marty Needleman.
16. I got you now. 17 members answering the call.
Sorry, I'm not sure you heard. This is Gina.
Who?
Gina Argento.
Okay.
Jerry, it's James Stewart here too. I don't think you called me.
Well, I know I called everybody, but people weren't answering. So, okay. Yeah, I have you marked present, James, because I made a visual, but I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, for some reason it wasn't unmuting for a while. Sorry about that.
Jerry, you heard me too, right, Jerry? Mike Chiricelli, you heard me?
Yes, sir. I have 18 members answering the call.
Jerry, it's Trina. I'm here as well.
Jerry,
Trina?
you got me?
Yes.
19 members. Trina is 19. Who else?
Frank Carbone. Torres.
Frank Carbone. That's 20 members answering the call.
And Jerry, Erin Drinkwater has been trying to get in. I see her on the list, but I don't know if she was able to hear you.
Can anyone hear me?
Yeah.
Doug? Doug?
That's 20 members, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Jerry. Is there anybody else that's in that can't get in? If anybody's can hear me and they're not in, you might want to go back out and under the panel because you're listed to come in under the panel. Dell, we can hear you. Can you hear me, Dell? Dell, you got your mic on?
Hi, Dallas, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay, everybody.
This is Erin Drinkwater. I'm here.
That was Erin Drinkwater.
Come again?
This is Erin Drinkwater. I'm here.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you.
This is Del Teague, I'm here.
Jerry, you got me?
Who's me?
Tommy Torres.
Yes, we got you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How many do we have now, Jerry?
21.
21? Okay, we're going to continue. Everybody, if you're not speaking, please turn off your mic. If you get ready to speak, make sure you turn on your mic. There's the chat. You can put a question in the chat. Anybody that got a question, they can put it in the chat. If you want to speak, you can raise your hand. There's a hand over in the right-hand corner under the names. If you want to speak, you can raise your hand. And to be tonight, all votes will be by roll call. So please.
We don't have a quorum, Madam Chair. We cannot conduct any votes at this time.
Right, I'm just trying to explain it so when we get there, we won't have to go over it again. And we probably have to go over it again. We came to do the approval of the agenda, right?
That's correct.
So we cannot conduct any business until we get a quorum. I don't know how long that's gonna take.
Well, I see Gina Barrows trying. Did she answer yes, Gina Barrows?
And also I see Ryan.
How do we raise our hand? I don't see a hand.
It's in the right hand. Names are.
Not on my Mac. There is no hand symbol.
Except Tell you was speaking.
I don't see a hand on mine either.
I have no hand.
There is no hand on my Mac either.
On the right hand,
I don't have anything that has names either.
on the right hand corner, there is a hand.
Oh, I see. We have to click participants, and then you get the list of the names. And then there's a hand at the bottom. Click on the blue circle that says participants, and you'll see the names come up.
Okay, I saw that.
I still don't have a hand.
It's at the end of the list, Karen. You got 3 symbols over there, and the first one is a hand.
Karen, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so it's down. So click on the thing that says participants, right? And at the and you'll see a bunch of names pop up. At the very, very bottom, there is a symbol, and it's supposed to be a hand. And if you put your thing on it, it'll say raise hand.
I don't even have where it says participants.
It's a blue circle.
You gotta go into the
Blue.
you gotta go into the little man with the little lines.
You know, at the bottom, we have the circles for mute or video, share content. The next one is participants.
Unfortunately, it's not showing.
Evening. David Needham joined.
Found it.
You get Isaac Sofer.
David Needham.
See, Iris is here now.
Hi, Iris.
I'm seeing on screen Isaac Sofer. Are you here? I have no photo, so I can't confirm. Ryan Coonan, are you here? Oh, I have visual on Ryan Coonan. Ryan Coonan be marked present.
Ryan Coonan, present.
That's 24.
Do you hear me? David Needham?
I have you marked present, Rabbi. I have 24 members and counting.
Jerry, if I may, I see 28 people in the chat on the panelists.
Yeah, Alice is counting twice in that list.
Mr. Sofer, if you're here, unmute your microphone and answer the call, please. Right, we'll try one more time for those who have not answered the call. Bogdan Bakarowski, Lisa Bamonte, Gina Barros, Tion Brooks, Eric Broussardis, Arthur Dibinowski, Julia Amanda Foster, Joel Goldstein, Joel Gross, Sonia Iglesia, Moisha Inde, Ozina Kaminsky, Avram Katz, William Clagwell, Joel Landau, Maria Lianza, Abraham Leibovitz, Joel Lowe, Toby Moskovitz, Mary O'Domerick, Janice Peterson, Isaac Sofer, Isaac Sofer. I'm getting a that he's here. Do you not have audio that we can hear you? Isaac Sofer has no audio and no video. Rob Solano, William Vega, Maria Vieira. Are you here?
Present.
Thank you. 25 members present. We need.
Just a question, it's now 6:35. How long do we wait for people to get on to begin, or to say that we don't have a quorum, and just, like, what's the protocol? If it was a 6 p.m. start time. Madam Chair, is there an answer to that question? The call was to start at 6, it's now 6:36. Protocol?
Jerry, I count 26 board members on the participant list, but I don't know. This is Tom Burrows. I didn't hear my name called, so.
I have 25, Tom, including you.
Okay. So I could take you and Marie off.
we have. There's 3 staff in the house tonight.
Oh, okay. That's okay. That's what I'm missing. All right. I know that Lisa's going to try to call in because she has no internet at her house or something. So I don't know. And I was trying to find Bogdan and Arthur. I haven't heard a peep from them.
I'm sorry, can anybody hear me, Madam Chair, Jerry, about question about protocol now?
You're breaking up.
please. Esperamos que esteja
Police reported ahead.
People need to mute because this is gonna be crazy. Mute yourself because we're gonna go crazy.
Jerry, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
So my question is, it's 6:39. How long do we wait when the meeting time was at 6 o'clock?
Chair Fuller, can you hear us? Chair Fuller?
Police reported ahead.
What's the question, Dana?
The question is that the meeting start time was at 6 p.m. It's now 6:39, which is 40 minutes after the publicly stated time to begin. How long do we wait for people to be on, to say that we have a quorum and move forward, or say that we don't and move forward? What are we waiting for?
Dana, the protocol is we cannot go forward with the meeting until we get a quorum. We have to vote on the agenda. We have to vote on the minutes. We cannot take a vote. This is our first virtual meeting. We're just, we're trying to figure all this out. Nobody set a time how long they want to wait. So we're trying to give it time so we can have a quorum. If we don't have a quorum, if we want to say at 7 o'clock, if we don't have a quorum, then there won't be no meeting. That's the only thing left.
And there's no public session where we could do that, or the people that are logged on, not as board members, but general public people, are they allowed to speak or whatnot?
We don't have that. We don't have any public speakers tonight on any items that we generally start out with. All of our meetings, if you ever notice, our meetings never start for 6:30, 7 o'clock because we never have a quorum. But we can do the public session without a quorum. We don't have the public session tonight.
I think that people are writing in there that in the chat that they did sign up to speak.
That's the different one. Generally, we start out with presentations where people give presentations. They want to talk about a liquor license, or somebody want to give a presentation on DOT or MTA. Those are the things that we generally start out with. We have none of those speakers tonight.
So the people that signed up to speak are not able, that's a different kind of speaking than the other speaking that usually happens in the beginning, like the MTA presenting. So the 2-minute section sign up.
That's our public session. That's our public session.
So can the public session go now without quorum or no?
No.
Okay.
William Vega is trying to sign in. He's having difficulty.
It's William Vega.
Yeah, I just put that in the chat.
Now you got to be reading the chat.
I mean, I was having problem before to unmute. There is a consistent problem with WebEx. So I was experiencing myself problem. I'm assuming people is experiencing right now problem.
Jerry, Rob Solano showed up. Are we at a quorum now?
If we can hear him, Rob? If we could see him or hear him.
I'm here. I'm on the call.
It's 26 members, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Jerry. Mr. Marcelli, you were speaking about something?
No, I was just saying that there are issue with the WebEx. the system itself, before when you were calling me, I couldn't answer because everything was frozen and there were issues. I wasn't able to unmute. So this is some problem we're going to keep having with WebEx. There is a lot of delay. It's pretty well known.
Yep.
Yeah, we know it's not Zoom, but I think people should complain to the borough president. This is what they told us we had to use, and this is what we're using. So let's try to work with it and see what we can get out of it. Okay, just hope everybody brought their patience. Okay, so
What I heard, the more people sign in, and we are a large number of people, the more issue WebEx will have to handle.
We're not going to
so
fix it
that's,
now.
Okay.
That's it.
William Vega is online now.
Okay, well, let's get started. We have a quorum.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Tom. Can everybody? There's too many people got their mics on. Thank you. Hello? Can I have an approval of the agenda, please?
I approve.
Motion.
I second.
Dale made the motion. Bill, you second.
By Phil Caponegro.
Okay, Jerry, do a roll call vote, please. I keep.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
roll calls for the approval of the agenda.
Yes.
Thank you. Gina Argento. Gina Argento.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. Unmute yourself for the vote, please. Bogdan Bakarowski.
Animal on shoulder ahead.
Lisa Bamonte. Gina Barros. Tion Brooks. Eric Berzaitis.
Exit right to exit 9W.
Tom Burrows.
Wait, I-287 West Albany.
Tom Burrows.
Yes.
Iris Cabrera.
Yes.
Phil Caponegro.
Yes.
Frank Carbone.
Yes.
Stephen Chesler.
Yes. Yes.
Michael Chirichella.
Yes.
Teresa Cinciata. Giovanni D'Amato.
Yes.
Erin Drinkwater.
Exit to exit 14A, Garden State.
Erin Drinkwater.
Yes.
Thank you. Arthur Dubinowski. T. Willis Elk.
Yes.
Julia Amanda Foster. Joel Goldstein. Joel Gross. Sonia Iglesia. Moisha Indig. Bozita Kaminsky. William Clagsball. Ryan Coonan.
Yes.
Joel Landau. Marie Leanza. Abraham Leibovitz. Yoel Lowe. Trina McKeever.
Yes.
Sante Michelli,
Yes.
Toby Moskovitz, Martin Needleman,
Yes.
Rabbi Niederman,
Here, present.
Karen Nieves, Karen Nieves,
Yes.
Mario Domerick, Janice Peterson, Dana Racklin, Isaac Sofer,
Yes.
Isaac Sofer.
Yes.
Can someone understand? Is he answering or is it a reverb?
Yes, he said yes.
900 feet. Turn left on South Pastic Road.
Rob Solano,
Yes.
Rob Solano,
Yes.
James Stewart,
Yes.
Del Teague,
Turn left on South Pastic Road.
Del Teague,
Yes.
would someone please shut off the navigation system? Tommy Torres,
Yes.
William Vega,
Yes.
Maria Vieira,
Unmute. Unmute.
You hear me? Yes.
Stephen Weidberg,
Yes.
Simon Weiser,
Yes.
26 members voting the affirmative. The agenda is approved.
Thank you, Jerry. Can I have an approval of the minutes, please? Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Who?
I second.
A motion.
Who's making the motion?
Rob Solano motion.
I
Lano,
second.
who
Iris
second?
Cabrera.
Who
These are
second the
minutes.
motion?
Iris.
Okay, Rob made a motion, Iris is, seconded. Can I have a roll call vote, please?
These are the minutes for February.
Yes. February 11th, 2020.
Thank you. Gina Argento,
Yes.
Bogdan Bakarowski, Lisa Bamonte, Gina Barros, Tion Brooks,
Jerry, Gina Barros is trying to get in, but her password doesn't work.
Eric Berzaitis, Tom Burrows,
Tom
Burrows,
Yes.
Iris Cabrera,
Yes.
Phil Caponegro,
Yes.
Sorry to wake you. Frank Carbone,
Yes.
Stephen Chesler,
Yes.
Michael Chiricella,
Yes.
Teresa Cinciata, Giovanni D'Amato,
Yes.
Bonnie, Erin Drinkwater,
Yes. Yes.
Arthur Dibinowski, T. Willis Elkins,
Yes.
Amanda Foster, Chairperson Fuller,
Yes.
Goldstein, Joel Gross, Sonia Iglesias, Moisha Indig, Zena Kaminsky, Avram Katz, William Klagsbold, Ryan Coonan,
Yep.
Joel Landau, Leanza, Abraham Leibovitz, Yoel Lowe, Trina McKeever,
Yes.
Sante Michelli,
Yes.
Toby Moskovitz, Martin Needleman, Martin Needleman,
Abstain.
Martin Needleman,
Abstain. Abstain.
Rabbi Niederman.
In a quarter of a mile. Left on Chestnut
This is a vote for
That's
the
a no
approval
vote,
of the
Rabbi.
Yes.
Karen Nieves,
Yes.
Mario Domerick, Janice Peterson, Dana Racklin,
Yes.
Isaac Sofer,
Yeah.
Robert Solano,
Yes.
James Stewart,
Yes.
Del Teague,
Yes.
Tommy Torres, last call, Tommy Torres, William Vega,
Yes.
Maria Vieira,
Yes.
Weidberg, Stephen Weidberg,
Yes.
Simon Weiser, no vote.
Yes.
William Claxbolt here.
25 yes, 1 abstention.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, everybody. Next item on the agenda is committee reports. The first committee report. Can everybody please mute your mics, please?
The minutes will have to be recalled next month because we didn't get enough votes to pass.
We didn't get enough votes to pass them. Okay.
No, unless Mr. Clagsbold, I heard him say he's in the meeting now. Is that true?
Yes, I'm here.
So, Mr. Clagsbold, there's a vote on the floor for approval of the minutes for February. I'm sorry, I forgot the date, Madam Chair. February
11, 2020.
So it's a motion for the approval of the minutes for that meeting, which you received via email. How do you vote?
Yes.
Yes. All right. The motion passes then. 26 yes, 1 abstention. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mercedes is here as well.
Who?
Eric.
Okay, we'll.
Mr. Bersidis, you in the house? Mr. Bersidis?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you.
Okay.
You should have 29 members, Madam Chair,
29 members.
if everybody's still here.
Okay. Thank you, Jeremy. The next item on the agenda is the bylaws committee report. These are committee reports. The first item is bylaws committee. Unfortunately, Ms. Foster had to go to the hospital today, and she's in the hospital for observation. And she doesn't have a chair, a co-chair. So the bylaws committee report cannot be addressed tonight. Next committee report is Parks and Waterfront. Bill?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome.
Okay, on June 3rd, we held our Parks and Waterfront Committee meeting. At that meeting, we saw a redesign of the Motiva site at the Bushwick Inlet Park. We left that presentation on our website, the board website, since the meeting. I hope everyone got a chance to look at it. It was approved. We did have a quorum that evening. It was approved. We had 6 members voting yes, one non-board member also voting yes. So with that, Madam Chair, I would like a vote from the board, please.
Can I interject real quick?
Go ahead, Willis.
You have a question, Eric? You have a question?
This is Willis. Yeah. Well,
I'm sorry.
before our motions pass, I'd like to, there was a letter that was circulated from members of Friends of Bushwick in the Park were on it, and North Brooklyn neighbors, a few comments on the design that were discussed after, because it was very difficult for non-board members to participate in the meeting. And it's a really important design of a whole shoreline. People wanted to relay this information to parks, and so I would like to make an amendment to the motion that we approve the design with the asking parks to consider the points that were made in the letter that was submitted to us and to parks today.
If I'm still on, hi Willis, I do believe Parks did get that, but I am very comfortable with adding that amendment to the report.
Okay.
Willis, could you just summarize what's in the letter?
Yes. For anyone who didn't see it, the letter summarizes basically a few suggestions to design. So places about where they could, different materials they could use for the shoreline, different size stone, a consolidation of the salt marsh that's going to be along the shoreline, and another section where potentially they could add trees for shade. So it's nothing major. It doesn't really change the nature of what's improving it. It's basically an amendment, a slight amendment to the design.
Again, I'm perfectly comfortable with that.
Okay.
If we can vote again with that added amendment to the report. Madam Chair, if you'd like to take a hold the.
Can I second your motion?
Oh, okay. Thank you, Trina.
Okay, the motion has been seconded. Jerry, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Dallas, can I make a motion?
On the issue?
No, to forgo this roll call. It's taking too long. Can we just like, if there's anybody against it, they should raise their voice. It's not, if everybody's against. I know, but it's taking too long. Listen, it's every vote will take like 10 minutes. It's like,
The city, I'm sorry to interrupt, but the city requires us to record every vote and how every board member votes on an issue. So unless you could come up with some other formula on how we can do that, then we could then we could use your way. But other than that, the only way that I know of is to do a roll call vote.
Everybody should scream together.
Why can't we just raise our hand in the group?
Because we can't see everybody's photo.
Listen, everybody.
Right. There's a motion on the floor and it was seconded, Madam Chair. We should move the motion.
Okay, roll call, Jerry.
Okay, so the roll call vote was to approve the Parks Committee's recommendations with the addition of the items so mentioned in the letter that Mr. Elkins referenced. Correct?
Yes.
Correct, Jerry.
Okay. Roll call. Gina Argento.
Yes.
Arthur Dimbaklowski. Lisa Bamonte. Gina Barros. Tion Brooks. Eric Brusitis. Thomas Burrows.
Yes.
Iris Cabrera.
Yes.
Phil Caponegro.
Yes.
Frank Carbone.
Yes.
Stephen Chesler.
Yes.
Michael Chiricella.
Yay.
Teresa Cinciata.
Yes.
Giovanni D'Amato.
Yes. Yes.
Erin Drinkwater.
Yes.
Arthur Dibinowski, T. Willis Elkins,
Yes.
Julia Amanda Foster, Joel Goldstein, Joel Gross, Sonia Iglesia, Moisha Indig, Bozina Kaminsky, Avram Katz, William Klagsbold,
Yes.
Ryan Coonan,
Yes.
Yoel Landau, Marie Leanza, Arthur Leibovitz, Abraham Leibovitz, I'm sorry, Yoel Lowe, Trina McKeever,
Yes.
Trina McKeever,
Yes. Yes.
Dave Michelli,
Yes.
Toby Moskovitz, Martin Needleman,
Yes.
Rabbi Niederman,
Yes. Yes.
Karen Nieves,
Yes.
Mario Domerick, Janice Peterson, Dana Racklin,
Yes.
Isaac Sofer, Rob Solano,
Yes. Yes.
James Stewart,
Yes.
Del Teague,
Yes.
Tommy Torres,
Yes.
William Vega,
Yes.
Maria Vieira,
Yes.
Stephen Weidberg,
Yes.
Simon Weiser,
Yes, yes.
quicker if people would navigate their microphone and just and be
Toby
prepared.
Moskowitz is here as well. I had it on mute.
All right, how do you vote?
Yes.
There's a vote we're in the process of a vote, Toby. Please continue, Jerry.
28 members in the affirmative. Motion passes.
Thank you, Jerry. Can everybody please pay attention? I know this is taking a long time. I knew it was going to take a long time when we were told this is the way we had to do it. But if people will listen and when their names are called and click on their mic and vote, we might get through this a little faster. This is not the time to multitask during the vote. Thank you, Phil. Next report is Public Safety and Human Services. Tom?
The committee report was sent out. We had a meeting. It was the first WebEx meeting of the committee on May 26th. There's nothing that has to be voted on. We had a meeting of both the SLA committee and the Public Safety and Human Services committee to try and, at that time, just get a handle on what was going on with phase 1 implementation, if there were any issues or concerns at that time. I would suggest you read the report. We're now in phase 2. We're just trying to keep on top of all of that, working with the bar owners and the restaurants and the police and various other people to make sure it goes smoothly. So if there's any problems, let us know. And we're trying to figure out what the SLA is doing, what the health department's doing, DOT is issuing of permits for the streets. So, but there's nothing to vote on. So read the report. That's it.
Thank you. You're also doing SLA, right?
Yes. All right. So the SLA is from a meeting that we held in February 25th, 2020. And then it was the recommendations we were making to the board. We would have made to the board in March. So there hasn't been any SLA committee.
Excuse me, Tom, excuse me. There's somebody on here, they're on their phone. Can you please remove yourself to talk on your phone? We can hear you talking on your phone. Thank you. Continue, Tom.
Okay. So there hasn't been any applications or anything else that the SLA has had us review since our February 25th meeting. And I think we just lost the entire meeting. My screen went completely, got little
We're
yellow
getting
things
we
on
got
everybody's
low
boxes.
bandwidth.
What happened?
We got low bandwidth.
Am I gone?
We can hear you.
We hear you, Tom.
Hello?
We can hear you, Tom.
Talking, Tom. We can hear you.
Oh, I'm back.
Keep
All
going.
right, all the faces came back. Sorry. Where was I? Anyway, so there was a meeting on February 25th making recommendations to the March meeting of the community board. That report was sent out. There was one sidewalk cafe application on Kent Avenue, which is a renewal. So that's just recommending approval of the renewal of that sidewalk cafe. I don't know if they're doing motion, second, and vote on each one of these, or if I can just do the whole report. What does everybody think?
If you can do the whole report and everybody understand, make sure everybody understand what they're voting on.
Okay, so the one thing that's the sidewalk cafe is at something called NLAM at 178 Kent. It's just a renewal, so we recommend approval. As for new liquor licenses, there were 7 we recommended approval for. Dos Toros, which is on Bedford Avenue. It's to be decided on Humboldt Street. Grande's on Grand Street. Prohibition Creamery on Berry Street. Ace Pizza, which is on Driggs. Tomo Japanese, which is on Flushing, and Vabe First, which is on Havemeyer Street. It's a small location. We recommended approval for those. We recommended denial for 2 items because the applicants did not appear, and we postponed a place called Ebbs Brewing Company, which was going to be live music, bar, tavern on North 7th Street, and we had a lot of questions about their posting, what entrances they were going to be using, why we needed another location there. So that's the liquor licenses. The renewals, there were 21, which we recommend approval of all the renewals. As of our meeting on February 25th, we didn't have any complaints about any of them, but if you did look at the list and anything's happened since the 25th, you need to let us know. On the previously postponed, Two Hands Williamsburg, which is on Kent Avenue, was another sidewalk cafe, which we're recommending approval for. And a location at 23 Meadow Street is one of those large music venues, which we wanted a whole bunch of stuff for, and we wanted them to make a presentation to the full board at the March meeting. Of course, there wasn't a March meeting, so that's been postponed. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the report as written.
To approve as written, Rob Solano.
Second, Phil Caponegro.
Okay.
Can I have a roll call vote, please, Jerry?
Okay, so the motion is to approve the SLA committee report as written.
Yes.
Gina Argento,
Yes.
Bogdan Bakarowski, Lisa Bamonte, Gina Barros, Tion Brooks, Eric Brusitis,
Yes.
Tom Burrows,
Yes.
Iris Cabrera,
Yes.
Iris Cabrera,
Yes.
Phil Caponegro,
Yes.
Frank Carbone,
Yes.
Stephen Chesler,
Yes.
Michael Chiricella, Michael
Yes.
Chiricella,
Yes.
Teresa Cinciata, Giovanni D'Amato,
Yes.
Aaron Drinkwater,
Yes.
Arthur Dibinowski, T. Willis Elkins,
Yes.
Julia Amanda Foster, Joel Goldstein, Joel Gross, Sonia Iglesia, Moisha Indig, Bozina Kaminsky,
Yes.
Avram Katz. Avram Katz. William Klagsbald.
Yes.
Brian Coonan.
Yes.
Yoel Landau. Marie Leanza. Abraham Leibovitz. Yoel Lowe. Trina McKeever.
Yes.
Sante Michelli.
Yes.
Toby Moskowitz.
Yes.
Martin Needleman.
Yes.
Rabbi Niederman.
Yes.
Karen Nieves.
Yes.
Mario Domerick. Janice Peterson. Dana Racklin. Dana Racklin.
Yes.
Isaac Sofer.
Yes.
Robert Solano.
Yes.
James Stewart.
Yes.
Del Teague.
Yes.
Tommy Torres. Tommy Torres. William Vega.
Yes.
William Vega.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Maria Vieira.
Yes.
Stephen Weidberg.
Yes.
Simon Weiser.
Yes.
Sherry? Sherry?
He's counting the
Oh,
votes.
sorry, because Gina Barros is trapped in the attendees and she said she voted yes.
That's 30 yes. Motion passes.
Somehow Gina can't get into the panel. I don't know why.
Thank you, Jerry. Next item on the agenda is land use. Del.
Okay, so, we had, an application for.
Wait, what are you doing?
We had an application for a rock climbing facility. And you can, it was written, I wrote about it in the report. The recommendation was to approve unanimously, both members, committee members, both board members and non-board members. We had 2 non-board members. And just, remind you that the owner spoke to us and assured us that there will be discounts for children. They work with a nonprofit partner called Urban Park. So I need a vote on that.
Motion to approve. Karen.
Second.
Cam made the motion. Who did the second?
Steve Chesler.
Steve Chesler. Jerry, do roll call vote, please. Somebody turn off their mic, please. Jerry?
Yeah, what's the subject facility? So for the record, so I have it.
Rock climbing.
This is,
Address.
the address is 277 South 5th Street.
Thank you. Gina Argento. Gina Argento.
Yes, I approve it. Yes.
Bogdan Bakarowski. Lisa Bamonte. Gina Barros. Tion Brooks. Eric Brusitis.
Yes.
Tom Burrows. Tom Burrows.
Yes.
Iris Cabrera.
Yes.
Phil Caponegro. Phil Caponegro.
Yes.
Frank Carbone.
Yes.
Stephen Chesler.
Yes.
Michael Chirichella.
Yes.
Teresa Cincinnati.
Yes.
Giovanni D'Amato.
Yes.
Drinkwater,
Yes.
Arthur Dibinowski, T. Willis Elkins,
Yes.
Amanda Foster, Joel Goldstein, Joel Gross, Sonia Iglesia, Moisha Indig, Bozina Kaminsky,
Yes.
Avram Katz, William Klagsbold,
Yes.
Ryan Coonan,
Yes.
Yoel Landau, Marie Lianza, Abraham Leibovitz, Yoel Lowe, Trina McKeever,
Yes.
Sante Mitelli,
Yes.
Toby Moskowitz,
Yes. Can you hear me? Yes.
Martin Needleman,
Yes.
Rabbi Niederman,
Yes.
Karen Nieves,
Yes.
Mario Domerick, Janice Peterson, Dana Racklin,
Yes.
Isaac Sulfur,
Yes.
Rob Solano,
Yes.
James Stewart,
Yes.
Del Teague,
Yes.
Tommy Torres,
Yes.
William Vega,
Yes.
Maria Vieira,
Yes.
Stephen Weidberg,
Yes.
Simon Weiser,
Yes.
31 members in the affirmative. Motion passes.
Thank you, Jared. Next item.
Okay. so
Excuse
the
me,
next-
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I know, new business is not on the agenda tonight, but I have an item that I need to bring up in light of the fact that there was no bylaws committee report tonight. Affecting,
Stephen, I didn't finish the.
Can I just finish what I'm
We're
doing?
not done with land use yet.
I still have another land.
oh,
use-
okay.
Two more items, actually. So I'm sorry. So the second item is, for, at 276 Bedford Avenue, and it's a Bedford Avenue overlay. They're asking for a commercial overlay extension over a, R6B district. They want to build a 3-story building, mixed use, with commercial on the ground floor. The southernmost portion of the lot is already part of the commercial overlay. So they wanted to just make it so that the entire ground floor can be commercial. And as you can read in my report, I recused myself. I laid out the reasons, but basically, well, if you need me to go into detail, I will, but it was in the report. So I recused myself, and I will just mention that as of this time, there still is no condition for this applicant to have to contribute to the community garden, which will be called the People's Triangle Community Garden. And you'll all be receiving emails soon asking if there's anyone who knows anyone who would like to volunteer. But be that as it may, the members of the committee, I recused myself. The rest of the members voted in favor of the application. There were 2 non-board members. One voted in favor, the other abstained. So I need a vote.
I want to make a vote to approve. Simon Weiser.
So what item are you proposing to get a vote on, Zell?
This is the overlay, the commercial overlay on that Bedford Avenue plot of land to extend the commercial overlay to the entire lot. Right now, only part of the lot is part of the commercial overlay. So They just wanted to make the whole ground floor commercial. And I mentioned in the report, they did mention that an old 1940s picture shows that that's actually how it was in the 1940s. A 3-story building with two apartments upstairs and commercial space on the ground floor. We did ask if there was any way they could have gotten some air rights so that they might have made the building bigger, but they said there were no air rights available. So I need a vote on that.
Okay, Simon says, seconded. Can we get a roll call?
Gina Argento. It's so much easier when I only have to call the name once. Gina Argento.
Yes.
Bogdan Bakarowski. Lisa Bamonte. Gina Barros. Tion Brooks. Eric Brusitis. Eric Brusitis. I don't know what's going on with the audio. I'm not either they're not answering or people are not I'm not hearing. People
Eric's saying yes, he's mouthing.
Eric is saying yes with his mouth.
Not answering. Oh, please shut off your microphone. Shut off your microphone, please, if you're not answering the call.
Mute yourself.
I see a lot of people are not mute or should be muted.
Marie, mute
Everybody, please
everybody.
mute yourself.
So let's try it again. Gina Argento is a yes. Bogdan Bakarowski. Lisa Bamonte. Gina Barros. Tion Brooks. Eric Brusitis.
Yes.
Thank you. Tom Burrows.
Yes.
Iris Cabrera.
Yes.
Phil Caponegro.
Yes.
Frank Carbone.
Yes.
Stephen Chesler. Stephen Chesler.
Yes, sorry.
Michael Chiricella.
Yes.
Teresa Cinciata. Teresa Cinciata. Giovanni D'Amato.
Yes.
Erin Drinkwater.
Yes.
Arthur Dibinowski. T. Willis Elkins.
Yes.
Julia Amanda Foster. Joel Goldstein. Joel Gross. Sonia Iglesia. Moisha Indig. Bozina Kaminsky.
Yes.
Ivan Katz. William Klagsbold.
Yes.
Ryan Coonan.
No.
Yoel Landau. Marie Lianza. Abraham Leibovitz. Yoel Lowe. Trina McKeever.
Yes.
Sante Michelli. Sante Michelli. No vote. Toby Moskowitz.
Yes.
Martin Needleman.
Yes.
Rabbi Niederman.
Yes.
Karen Yeves.
Yes.
Mario Domerick. Janice Peterson. Dana Racklin.
Yes.
Isaac Sofer.
Yes.
Isaac Sofer.
Yes.
Robert Solano.
No.
James Stewart.
Yes.
Del Teague.
Yes.
Tommy Torres.
Yes.
William Vega. William Vega.
Yes. Yes.
Maria Vieira. Maria Vieira. No vote. Stephen Weidberg.
I said yes.
Simon Weiser.
Yes.
And this is Toby Moskowitz. My voice wasn't working. I'm voting yes as well. I apologize. I didn't respond.
$27 yes, 2 no. Motion passes.
Okay, one more thing. I don't know if I have to have a vote on this, but we were given a letter by Two Trees asking if we wanted to participate in a working group with them to help them finalize their plans for that Con Ed site. We discussed it and the committee voted unanimously to recommend that we not participate so that we wouldn't appear to be giving a pro forma approval. So we felt that we would be better off having our own independent study. And indeed, you will see the presentation tomorrow night from Hester Street. Hester Street is going to give a presentation helping us to look at these kinds of developments and get a sense of what kinds of questions and things we could look at to help us. So I guess I need a vote on this to whether we recommended that we stay independent.
I motion to accept that. Rob Solano.
Second, Steve Chesler. Second.
Can I ask a question? David Niederman. Can I ask a question now, please?
So what is the question? What is the question?
Question is, does it make sense to at least be there informally to make sure to hear what they are planning and then to come to our own conclusion what we want to do?
Well, they asked us to participate as members of their working force, their working group. Not just to listen in on the meeting. So we felt, the committee felt that we'd be better off not being a part of a group that was being run by Two Trees, just to stay independent.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
So we need a vote.
I thought we had a motion and a second already.
Yes, so we need a vote.
Jerry, the roll call.
Only the chair could call for me to take the roll.
Did she leave?
Yes. The Alice, Jerry, roll call.
Can you repeat the motion?
Chair
I think
Fuller,
the Alice is
are you
frozen.
there? Chair Fuller?
Where is she?
Chair Fuller, can you hear us? Chair Fuller? I can see her, but I can't hear her. Chair Fuller?
I hear you.
All right, there was a motion made and seconded. Del, did you repeat the motion, please?
The motion is to decline to participate as members of their working group and for the community board to conduct our own independent evaluation.
It being two trees,
Yes, for two, yeah, the two trees request, to decline the request.
Can we have the roll call vote, please?
Gina Argento.
I abstain.
So a yes vote will be to support the committee's recommendation to not participate in this working group, correct, Del?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Gina Argento abstains, right?
Yes.
Bogdan Bakarowski, Lisa Bamonte, Gina Barros, Tion Brooks, Eric Brusitis,
abstain.
Thomas Burrows,
Yes.
Iris Cabrera. Iris Cabrera. No vote. Phil Caponegro.
Yes, I say yes.
I hear you now. I didn't hear you before. Phil Caponegro.
Sorry, the thing have a delay.
Jerry,
I'm sorry, Phil. I didn't hear you.
yes. Yes.
Frank Carbone.
Yes.
Stephen Chesler.
Yes.
Michael Chirichella.
Yay.
Cinciata. Teresa Cinciata.
Yes.
Giovanni D'Amato.
No.
No. Aaron Drinkwater.
Yes.
Yes. Arthur Dibinowski. T. Willis Elkins.
Yes.
Yes. Julia Amanda Foster. Joel Goldstein. Joel Gross. Sonia Iglesia. Moisha Indig. Bozina Kaminsky. Bozina Kaminsky.
Yes.
Yes. Avram Katz. William Klagsbold.
Yes.
Yes. Ryan Coonan.
No.
No. Yoel Landau. Marie Lianza. Abraham Leibovitz. Yoel Lowe. Trina McKeever.
Yes.
Yes. Sante Michelli. Sante Michelli. No vote. Toby Moskovitz.
Yes.
Yes. Martin Needleman.
Yes.
You broke up, Marty. What was that again?
Yes.
Yes. Martin Needleman votes yes. Rabbi Niederman. Rabbi Niederman. No vote. Karen Nieves.
Yes.
Yes. Mario Domerick. Janice Peterson. Dana Racklin. Dana Racklin.
Abstain.
Abstain. Isaac Sofer. Isaac Sofer. No vote. Rob Solano. Rob Solano.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
James Stewart.
Yes.
Yes. Del Teague.
Yes.
Yes. Tommy Torres.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. William Vega. William Vega.
Yes.
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 Maria Vieira.
Yes.
Maria Vieira.
Yes.
Stephen Weidberg.
Yes.
Yes. Simon Weiser.
Yes. Yes.
$23 yes, 2 no, 3 abstentions. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Transportation?
Okay. Can everyone hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so there are actually 2 reports. We need to follow up on the March report. That's been out for a while, so we'll just do it as read, but there are 2 votes that we had. If they were both unanimously approved, so if you want me to read them both and then we can do one vote, or I can do them individually.
Together.
Together?
Yeah.
Together.
Together.
Okay.
Vote on it as one.
Great. Okay, great. So the first was the Franklin Key Greenway connector. And the motion was this is the DOT plan that was sent around. The motion by Karen Nieves was to approve the revised plan with the contingency that NYC DOT reach out to the affected businesses on Meserole Avenue and between Franklin and Banker to inform them of the additional new parking spaces that may impede
Jimmy, don't.
loading.
I am so annoyed. I'm not in the full meeting right now. I'm in the other meeting.
Okay, I'm going to continue. Hang on. So that NYC DOT has to reach out to the businesses regarding the parking spaces. I believe they've restored the parking spaces since March, but it's still a contingency. So the second was William Klagsbald, and that was voted unanimously with one non-board member voting yes. And the second motion was regarding direction change for North 14th Street. And the motion made by Emily Gallagher was to approve the North 14th Street one-way eastbound conversion proposal for a one-way conversion itself, but that New York City DOT must study another bike path that includes a safer and more efficient route for cyclists. And that was seconded by William Klagsbald, and that was unanimously voted yes. So we want to do, I guess, approve the report as written.
I make a motion to approve Karen Nieves.
I second the motion, James Stewart.
Motion and second. Chair Fuller? Hello?
Yeah. Can we have a roll call vote?
Eric, you just summarize the motion, so it's 2 items, please, right?
Yes. You want me to reread it?
Please.
Sure.
Everybody understands a yes would be in favor of the committee's recommendation.
Right. It's yes. Motion one. Sorry. Approve the revised Franklin Street Key Greenway connector plan with the contingency that New York City DOT reach out to affected businesses on Meserole Avenue between Franklin and Banker to inform them of additional new parking spaces that may impede loading at the facility and reduce parking spaces accordingly. Second by Klagsbald, voted unanimously. Second was to approve the North 14th Street one-way eastbound conversion proposal for a one-way conversion itself, but that New York City DOT must study another bike path that includes a safer and more efficient route for cyclists. Both were voting unanimously yes. That's
Okay, so
the
motion. The motion is to support the committee's recommendation. Gina Argento. Gina Argento.
Yes, yeah.
Bogdan Bakarowski. Lisa Bamonte. Gina Barros. Tion Brooks. Eric Brusitis.
Yes.
Tom Burrows. Tom Burrows.
Yes.
Iris Cabrera.
Yes.
Phil Caponegro.
Yes.
Frank Carbone.
Yes.
Stephen Chesler.
Yes.
Michael Chirichella.
Nay.
Teresa Cinciata. Teresa Cinciata. No vote. Giovanni D'Amato.
Yes.
Erin Drinkwater.
Yes.
Yes. Arthur Dibinowski, T. Willis Elkins,
Yes.
yes. Julia Foster, Joel Goldstein, Joel Gross, Sonia Iglesia, Moisha Indig, Bozina Kaminsky,
Yes.
yes. Avram Katz, William Klagsbold,
Yes.
yes. Ryan Coonan,
Yes.
yes. Yoel Landau, Marie Lianza, Abraham Leibovitz, Yoel Lowe,
Oh, okay.
Trina McKeeva,
Yes.
yes. Sante Michelli, no vote. Toby Moskowitz,
Yes.
Martin Needleman,
Yes.
Rabbi Needleman,
Yes.
yes. Karen Yeves,
Yes.
Mary Domerick, Janice Peterson, Dana Racklin,
Yes.
Isaac Sofer,
Yes.
Robert Solano,
Yes, yes.
Solano, no vote. James Stewart,
Yes, I said yes.
James Stewart,
Yes. Said yes too before.
Del Teague, yes. Del Teague, Tommy Torres,
Yes, yes.
yes. William Vega,
Yes.
Yes.
Maria Vieira,
Yes.
Stephen Weidberg,
No, you just get them in place, all right?
Stephen Weidberg,
Yes.
Simon Weiser,
Yes.
You hear me or not before? No, I can't hear them.
Hi, Jan.
Hi.
28
How are
yes, 1 no. Motion
Here.
passes. Marie, mute everybody, please.
Thank you. Parks.
No, wait.
You better not finish.
No, I'm sorry. That was the March report.
Can
This is,
everybody mute themselves, please?
okay, this is the June item. So we talked about the BQE wide exit again. We couldn't come to a consensus. There were 2 votes taken, but they negated each other. We're going to table that and go back to the drawing board. But the motion that we did unanimously approve, there are safety improvements for the intersection of Broadway and Rodney. It requires a vote because there's a direction change from east to westbound on South 9th Street. That there was no controversy with that. We figured out who asked for it, and the committee unanimously approved it. And the motion was to approve the plan as proposed.
Roll call vote, please.
I second the motion.
Can I have, Bozina second the motion. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Gina Argento,
Yes.
Bogdan Bakarowski, Lisa Bamonte, Gina Barros, Tion Brooks, Eric Brusitis,
Yes.
Tom Burrows,
Yes.
Iris Cabrera,
Yes.
Phil Caponegro,
Yes.
Frank Carbone,
Yes.
Stephen Chesler,
Yes.
Michael Chirichella,
Yay.
Teresa Cinciata, no vote. Giovanni D'Amato,
Yes.
Erin Drinkwater,
Yes.
Arthur Dibinowski, T. Willis Elkins,
Yes.
Julia Amanda Foster, Joel Goldstein,
Yes.
Joel Gross, Sonia Iglesias, Moisha Indig, Bozina Kaminsky,
Yes.
no vote. Avram Katz,
Yes. What do you mean no vote?
You can hear me?
I hear you now. How do you vote?
Yes.
Thank you. From Cats, William Klagsbold,
Yes.
Ryan Coonan,
Yes.
Yoel Landau, Marie Lianza, Abraham Leibovitz, Yoel Lowe, Trina McKeever,
Yes.
Sante Michelli,
Yes.
Toby Moskovitz, Toby Moskovitz, no vote. Martin Needleman,
Yes.
Martin Needleman, no
Yes.
vote.
Yes.
Rabbi Niederman, no vote. Karen Nieves,
Yes.
Mario Domerick,
He said yes, but he said it was a no.
Janice Peterson,
Yes.
Dana Racklin,
Yes.
How did it go back?
Isaac Sofa,
Yes.
Rob Solano,
Now you see what my.
Yes, yes.
James Stewart,
Yes.
Del Teague, no vote. Tommy Torres,
Yes.
William Vega,
Yes. Yes.
Maria Vieira,
Yes.
Stephen Weidberg,
Yes.
Simon Weiser,
Yes.
Jerry, Marty Needleman voted yes.
Mary. She said yes. Oh.
28 yes, 0 no, 0 abstention. Motion passes.
Okay, that's it. Thanks.
This is Karen. Can I say something? There is a delay. So when you are about to be called on, please unmute yourself right before Jerry calls you. Because every time when he does call you, there's a delay. You see you mouth yes or no, and then you have to repeat yourself. It's driving me nuts.
There was an echo on what you said. You voted yes. Jerry, this is Teresa Cianciata. I voted yes on that vote. And you said there was a no vote.
We couldn't hear you, Tish, but so noted for the record. So 29 yes. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I had an item to bring up. Madam Chair? Yeah, it's related, to the committee, the bylaws committee report that wasn't presented tonight. Per the board bylaws, we're supposed to be holding elections this month. But because of the pandemic restrictions, we obviously can't meet in person, and we have a ballot requirement. So what we were going to talk about was how to amend the bylaws to either have elections or not have elections right now. But now that, we're unable to deliberate and vote on that, we have a situation where the terms of the officers end on June 30th. So we ideally really need to meet again to pass, amendments to the bylaws so we can have elections or not. But one way or the other, we have to adapt our bylaws.
Yes, we do. But like I said,
Although I think the bylaws do state that they remain in effect until they're replaced. Even though that's true what you said, the bylaws do say, I think, that all offices and committees remain in place until they are replaced.
I don't think there's anything in there like that.
anyway, nobody knew that the chair was gonna get sick. If you get sick, you go to the hospital, you're in the hospital. But thank God she had somebody to notify us and tell us that she was in the hospital. There's nothing we can do about it. So as soon as we find out how she's doing or whatever, we will ask her to have a meet to call the committee back together. I don't see how I can do a report without the chair here to give it.
What I'm saying is, I think, when she's healthy again, I think we need to have a full board meeting to deal with those bylaw amendments.
We will. Nobody's trying to skirt this issue. Bear with us, Chancellor.
Right, but I'm saying,
We're in a place where we've never been before.
I realize that, but I'm saying, are we potentially going to meet, in the near future? Are we going to kick this down the road into September?
Nobody's trying to kick anything down the road. As soon as we get some details on it, some time get freed up. It took us almost 3 months to pull this meeting together. It hasn't been easy. It's been like flying a plane that's not completed, and we're still walking around looking for the damn parts. So we're trying to handle this the best we can because we're in a situation that we've never been into before. And we're trying to handle the best of our knowledge with the legal department, with the charter, and with our bylaws. We will handle it as soon as we can. Thank you.
Can we have an answer from whomever at the legal department about what Marty said about the offices continue? Because I don't have my bylaws in front of me. Marty, if you can find that at some point in time.
The law department advised that the offices sit until an election takes place.
All right, well, that needs to be communicated clearly. We have
I believe that's what the bylaws say also, but the proposed bylaw changes, by the way, that were recommended by the committee, only propose that the bylaws allow for or propose that all these things be put off for a year, and that the elections occur next June, not this June.
That's not true. There were two sets of proposals. One was postponement. The other was to have elections as soon as possible through alternative means.
That was the fifth point. The first 4 points proposed just putting things off till June, but we can.
This is Del Teague. I got knocked off of my computer. I don't know if anybody can hear me now.
Yeah, we hear you.
So I really feel obligated as a member of the executive board to say that I think that the board needs these elections. I understand that, the rationale behind saying let's postpone it is that you'd need 2/3 of the board to vote for it. So that would indicate a good consensus. But personally, I feel we need to have these elections, and I don't see why we can't have them virtually. I feel as a member of the executive board, I really need to let that be clear, my opinion on this.
We have an August date for a meeting. A July date.
Listen, one person at a time.
Ms. Chairperson, in the chat, we were told to put our hand up, and I've held my hand up 3 times to speak.
I couldn't see you.
That was what we were told to do.
No, the chat button, you put your hand, you put the chat, you pull your.
And it's up there. If you look in the panelists, it's there. My hand's been there.
I don't see.
So I will wait to be called upon, though.
I don't know how you do it.
I didn't see your hand, but go ahead, Karen, since you waited so long. Okay, Jan, you're next after Karen.
So one question that I have is, I'm I really hope and I, pray that Julia is okay and she comes home and she's on the mend. In respect to not having the committee not having a co-chair, can someone else from the committee present the report, number one? And number two, I agree. I just want to make a statement that I agree with Dell that we should have elections. That's part of our democracy and it should move forward. And whether or not we need to meet in July or August, whatever the case may be, the board has been off for 2 months. I don't think many people are going to be going away on vacation. And if you do, then congrats to you. But I think we still need to move forward with the elections. That's my 2 cents. Thank you.
My 2 cents. Is the mute on, off? You can hear me?
Is your
Yes.
hand raised?
Yeah, she called on me, Tom. She said I would speak next. Thank you.
Right, but my nobody answered my question as to if a committee member, since there's no co-chair, if a committee member can do the report.
But she didn't ask anybody to do the commit to do the report. It's up, it's up to her to ask somebody. This
Right.
is one of the reasons that I asked every chairperson to get themselves a co-chairperson, just in case something like this happened. I asked people years ago, you got a committee, get yourself a co-chairperson, because co-chairpersons, when you can't step up, they step up. She has no co-chairperson, and she didn't ask anybody to do this report. I don't have any problem with doing an election, but we have to get guidance and do it because we can't do it the way we normally do. So we have to get guidance on how to do it. I have no problem with doing an election. I'd be happy to do an election when we can do one.
I'm just thinking maybe if somebody could volunteer to do the report, on the chair's behalf, or maybe if this is something that you can make a decision to have someone do the report, if this is necessary. That's all I'm suggesting.
I generally try to let committees do their committees. She didn't appoint anybody. I wasn't at the meeting. I don't know who could deliver this report like the chair would deliver it.
Okay.
I have no knowledge of who can deliver this report like she could. So therefore, she's not here. We're not doing the report.
Okay.
Karen, I have no problem with an election. Anybody in this audience tonight, anytime we can do an election and the legal department agree with it, Borough Hall agree with it, the charter agree with it, we will have an election.
My hand is raised, just FYI. I
Mine
can't
too.
put on the thing.
I think I was next.
Jan,
I'm just saying is that I put out the resolution that seems to put off the elections. And the main reason is that, and I was also one of the people pushing to get the board to meet. So along with Trina, we were the two that said it was more important that we meet. And there's been a lot of, let's just say there's been a lot of back and forth where I'm much more concerned that we're not taking our responsibilities as a community board and meeting and moving because of the technology and the city and all this bureaucratic stuff. This is a critical time to me. And we are, as a community board, have to be kind of monitoring and looking at and listening to what's happening with what's going on in the community with the coronavirus. And to me, that's much more important than whether we have an election right now. And I'm not opposed to, I don't care if we have an election or not. Last time we had one, there was nobody running for any seats. The same people ran. We voted almost unanimously. I think I was the only one not elected to my seat last time. And so I'm saying it's not like there's a big rush of people that wanted to take these seats. And I felt that, and I just was finished with, I felt that the the executive board and to change everything in the middle of the coronavirus and not to take seriously looking at what's going on in our community and what's happening to people and what we should be talking about would take away. That's all. But that I'm very willing to, if we talked it out like here right now that we're doing, even when I put out that resolution, I'm happy to have an election, but that was the purpose, is all I'm saying. The purpose was to have us get back to work and get moving, and the people that were elected didn't get their full term. It just seems to me that we just got going, and now we could be changing it all. So that's the reason. And I am not the co-chair of the committee, so I have not been asked to give a report. But that's why I made my resolution, and then there were other resolutions, and we spent a lot of time on it, changing it. I think Steve is an expert on what we finally came up with.
Yeah, can I, okay, you finished, Jan?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that that's what the intent is, not the intent of killing democracy. The intent was to get us focused on the real priority, I think, because I'm worried about what's happening in the community and how much money is moving and decisions that are being made that there is no local group looking at.
Okay, Ryan? Ryan, I'm looking in the chat. I got
Yeah.
FY.
I had the same question as Karen. I feel like there's been times when reports have been given by people when people were sick or had to go out of town. They read the report and people chimed in. And so I kind of, again, it feels like in the past that's definitely happened, and I don't understand why we can't read the report. But also, to speak to Jan's, if there's no nomination call, then no one can be nominated. So I think to say that because last year there wasn't people nominated doesn't mean that, like, there may be people that think that certain people have skills they could make in this corona time. So I just think that, like, to say without actually having a call, you can't say no one would be nominated. I don't know. I didn't understand the logic. That's all.
Okay, well, Ryan, I don't ever remember anybody doing a person's report unless they asked them to do it. They designated a person to do their report. Steve?
Yeah, just a couple of things regarding legal advice from the borough president. A few weeks back, their legal counsel sent a letter to all the community boards in Brooklyn. Essentially, they basically said it's okay to have remote elections, and it's actually the preferred mode versus postponing them. And but they said, if you have bylaws that inhibit virtual elections, like a paper ballot requirement, which we do, and a timeline, like May and June for us, then you need to adapt your bylaws accordingly. And then, just regards to what Jan was just saying, I also, and I agree with everyone that I just feel like just the name of democracy, we really just need to follow our bylaws and hold elections. I mean, we have, as during our moment of silence, Madam Chair, you reference all the great sacrifices that, healthcare workers, first responders, people working in the stores, and then, people have lost loved ones during this crisis. So I feel like we got to do our thing. We got to step up and still do what we do and keep democracy moving and have our elections. And our elections are, it's a very straightforward thing. And I think regardless of whether people run against the people who are currently in office or not, I feel like we just have to do that. And so that's so.
Thank you, Steve.
Yes.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate all the work everybody done. We asked the law department, we had to get that guidance from them. It took us a long time to get that guidance, but we went to them and asked for guidance. So this is when they came out and gave us guidance, and we gave it to the committee. Tom Burrows? Tom Burrows?
I put my hand down because I was pushing for a meeting in July to get this vote to happen.
Trina
I
McKeever?
agree with Karen. I agree with Karen.
Okay, Trina McKeever? Okay, then, Maria, I think you said you had your hand up for a long time.
Trina, you're muted.
Maria, did you say you had your hand up for a long time?
I did, but it's not related. It's not.
See, I can't see people when they got their hands up. Somebody sent me a chat, so I'm calling the names in the chat.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, what I want to say is not related to this topic. But since I'm on the soapbox, I do want to say that I agree with Dell. I agree with what I've been hearing. I don't think there is a reason why we should hold back on the elections. It is our due diligence and it is the democratic process. Therefore, let's have an election. We're waiting for guidance. We're waiting for direction. Fine. As soon as we have it, I think that we should just do it. I cannot understand the reason why we need to wait any longer. And I get it. You know, we hadn't even had meetings. And this is the very first one. So I understand. And COVID has been a challenge for many of us and for every one of us. But moving forward, I think that we can come to consensus now, realizing that the chair of the bylaws committee is not here to provide her report and she doesn't have a co-chair. I kind of get it. And I also share that I hope that she's okay. I hope that whatever it is that's going on, that she has a speedy recovery and that everything is going to be okay. What I wanted to say was not about this. It's that I want to, I'm requesting to present an update or quasi report of the budget committee. I didn't submit the written report. I don't know, while I was in communication with Marie, my computer crashed. There's so much information that I have to provide that I just couldn't do it on my phone. I'm sorry. So if you allow me to provide a verbal report or an update on what's been happening throughout this time, I would be happy to do that. And I think it's important because there's a meeting tomorrow that that is a derivative of what happened. So I just wanted to say that, but I don't want to hold up what everybody else wants to say in regards to this bylaw situation.
You said you had a report that you want to give, a verbal?
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to allow you to do it. We've tried to make this meeting as seamless as possible. We sent out an email weeks ago and we asked the chairpersons to let us know if they were given a report. That way, if it's on the report, I can read, I know who's given a report. We're not in person, so we're trying to do things to make the meetings as seamless as possible. And when we continue to do the virtual meetings, I need committee chairpersons to tell me that they're having a meeting so it can be listed. Even if you change your mind and tell me you're not giving a report that night, I need that information so this can be as seamless as possible. We've been here 2 hours and everybody's worn out. Go ahead, Maria.
Wait,
Yes.
Chairwoman, I'm sorry, but there's a bunch of people in the queue with their hands up to talk about the bylaws issue. So to just move over, I mean, I'm sorry, but that seems out of order to me, that we would just bypass the people that have their hands up to talk about the bylaws.
I can't see it. And the thing about it, we were in committee reports, and right now, Ms. Vieira is going to do her committee report.
So everyone who has their hand up for talking about the last
Dana, excuse me. Ms. Vieira is going to give us her report.
With all due respect,
Actually, if you don't mind, just a point of order, just a quickie, which is that there has to be a nomination meeting before the election meeting. So just keep that in mind when we get plans.
So with all due respect, what I said was that I just wanted, since I had the moment, I wanted to say that I want to present a report. It didn't mean that I was trying to bypass anything or anyone.
Nobody's saying that you're. Nobody's saying
No.
That you're
I'm not.
bypassing
I'm
it.
saying.
Just saying that there's a.
I'm
bunch of
saying this
people
to the
with their-
chair.
Dana, let's not have no back and forth.
I'm saying it to the chair that I was not trying to bypass it. I just wanted to get that point across and say that when the moment comes, I would like to present a report. I'm not, please, but by no means.
I didn't say you were bypassing anybody. Dana said that, And I said, since we were just finishing up with committee reports, I'm gonna allow you to give your report now.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people with their 6 people with their hands up about the bylaw conversation, and we're just gonna move over to something different when 6 board members who are equal stakeholders in the conversation have their hands up.
I don't have to present now. I would just like to present when the
Got it,
bylaw
Maria.
situation is
We-
over.
Let me just say this. Let me say this. That was not part of the agenda. Steve wanted to talk about it when I first when I started doing the committee reports. Steve brought it up, and then we're ending the reports, and Steve brought it up again. But now we find we have another committee report. Maria, would you like to?
I would like to let the people speak and end on the bylaws issue, if you would allow it, Madam Chair.
I don't even know if somebody, I can't call anybody because like I said, I don't see the hands.
So
I'm looking, if somebody
I'll
want to
tell
put
you-
it,
Dialis, I'll tell you, it doesn't even have to be me that speaks. I'll tell you that it's my hand that was up.
put it all in the chat.
Karen Nieves, Rob Solano, Ryan, and
Karen already
Kessler, and
spoke.
Trina McKeever all have their hands up, and me.
Okay, Rob.
You
Is
have
Rob
made
still
mention.
there?
Yes, I'm here. You have made mention you didn't remember. I do recall in a meeting last year when someone was, I think it was Bogdan, he had taken a flight. You do have the power as chair to assign a co-chair at any time. There is no, I know that's not courtesy, that would be a little different than the past, but you do have the power at any time to say someone can step up as co-chair to give a report. As unusual as it is, we are living unusual times. You do have the power to do that as someone that attended the meeting.
Thank you, Rob. Dana? Dana, did you want to speak?
Unmute yourself. There you go.
I just wanted to bring up to Jan's point about what's happening in the community and putting a focus on the community during these unprecedented and challenging times is exactly why it's important that we have this election. So I'm sorry, Jan, but you actually make the point as to why we want to move forward with democracy, or however you want to phrase it. It's because many of us do really care about this community and want to ensure that there are things happening in this community that best serve and meet the needs of this community. We want to make sure that there's oversight of city agencies to ensure that the needs of this community are being met. And as we could see, based off of tonight's performance on this call, there are things that need to be updated and need to be happening that maybe are not happening right now. And it's important to serve this community. We need to have this election, not just as a formality, but as a real act to create the change that we need to ensure that our community's needs are met. So, I mean, I think that what Rob just said about the chair is having somebody else speak. There's been a lot of talk where a lot of people went to the bylaws meeting that can speak on it. It sounds like Steve Chesler would be able to have that ability. And additionally, we're running out of time. So I don't understand, there was 4 months or 3 months, however many months, who knows now, that quite frankly, these conversations should have been happening by the executive board. You know, what are we going to do in these 3 months so that we don't have a problem when we get to June? And now here we are. So I'm sorry, but I kind of feel like we're out of time, and it's of the responsibility of us to provide oversight, but of the executive committee to lead us in the place that we need to be, which is to be active in this moment and meet the mandate of our roles as community board members and ensure that we are moving forward with these elections.
Thank you, Dana. Trina? Trina?
You're muted.
Oh, sorry about that. So there was an issue with the committee report as it was written that both Steve Chesler and I pointed out and had sent letters to the board that were forwarded to Julia. At the committee, I'm not a member of the bylaws committee, but I attended the committee because I had the committee meeting because I had submitted an alternative to what Jan Peterson had sent, which what she had sent was a way of amending the bylaws to put the elections off a year. And I had submitted an alternate way to look at the bylaws, to change the bylaws so that the elections could be held remotely as soon as possible. The attached to the back of the committee report were both my letter and Jan's letters, but the committee report did not reflect my letter. And it turned out at the meeting, they went in sequence and voted in each of the provisions that Jan had laid out, and then they voted in what I had laid out. So the trouble is with the committee report as well. But the letter, I don't know if people had a chance to read it. It was at the back of the committee report, laid out a way that we could actually hold elections tonight or in a subsequent meeting. But one of the provisions that was voted on and received positive votes was to extend the executive committee until a time that we could hold our remote elections. And it's in section C of the bylaws, the ninth provision. I can read it. It's the terms of all executive officers elected at the board's election meeting shall commence on July 1st of that year and expire on June 30th of the following year. That's how it's written. And then what I proposed adding to that was, however, in the event that elections cannot be held according to the schedule outlined in the bylaws, and in order to provide continuity, board officers and attendance committee terms may be extended month to month until elections can be held. So at the bare minimum, we could vote on that provision, and then in July we could actually hold a meeting and hold the elections. The trouble is the committee report, as it was written, did not include this provision or the other two provisions that I had proposed, and that puts us in kind of a bind if we look at the committee report. But people that attended that meeting know the vote and know that the provisions that were in my letter were also voted in with votes that reflected them passing or proposing we pass them.
Yeah, but just as you said.
As a point of order, it's got to, whatever the proposal has got to be submitted to the board, meeting.
It was submitted, Marty.
It's a list of, the last item.
If you look at the last page of the committee report, you can see the letter that I wrote on May 28th to Dialis, and who passed it on to the bylaws committee. And at the meeting,
has to adopt that for it to be a recommendation to the committee, to the executive.
It was a recommendation to the committee, and in fact, the committee voted positively on each of the parts in my letter. And there are tapes of the committee report. People can listen to it. Steve, you can help.
It was not submitted though to the board.
It absolutely was submitted. I read 7 out of the 8 changes that were proposed between Jan and Trina. And Trina read her first one, and they all had motions, seconds, and were voted on. But Trina's provisions were excluded, and the votes were excluded from the report.
Well, see what you have now, you have a discrepancy in the report.
And Jerry, you probably saw that I wrote and Steve wrote to the board, and those letters were passed on to Julia, saying that the committee report does not reflect what happened at the meeting.
Yeah, and I just want to add that frankly, the technology for me, I was trying to go back and forth because this was an important discussion. Obviously, this is an important issue, and I couldn't even hear half of what was being said. So from my point of view, I said, sound like, if people are really feeling that strong, let's go ahead. I was willing to amend any of my recommendation, but the technology just eliminated the ability to come to conclusions. So I don't know why tonight we can't we form a committee for election so that at least if we're moving along on this month to month, we have a committee that's seeking candidates? Isn't that the board?
Why do we need another committee? I mean,
No, you're missing Dana.
An election committee.
That is in the bylaws. You have to have a committee that comes up with that runs the election. So we can put together, what is it called? Marty ran the bylaws committee for many years, whatever that committee is called.
Election committee. It's election committee, and they have to make nominations.
Right.
And then at the next,
Since we're following the democratic practices that we establish and people don't want to put it off, that seems to be the will of this board right now, from even the executive board people and everybody that's speaking. Nobody is saying, let's put it off. So we just have to begin to move. So can't we form that election committee tonight? Or is that something the executive board has to meet and do? How does that work, Alice?
Jerry, could we do that tonight, or could we just send out an email and ask people if they want to volunteer and choose?
Traditionally, the chair picks 3 members to be on the election committee. Also, traditionally, all the elections committee did was collect the ballots and tally the votes. If someone is suggesting that nominations take place, then the problem is that the bylaws call for May nominations. So we've been instructed by the law department that the bylaws have to be in the same conversation as the actions. So, for example, and I'm just giving this as an example, should the board wish to have nominations in August, the bylaws would have to be changed in July to now state that nominations will be held in August, and so on and so forth. The bylaws have to change. We're no longer using a paper ballot.
Jerry,
a lot of those were discussed by the committee, but and Trina, yes, you told me that the report, you claimed that the report was not accurate, but Julia came into the office, sat down, went over the report and signed it. So, I can't dispute what you're saying over what Julia's saying. Technically, I would recommend that the bylaws committee reconvene and don't leave that room until everybody's on board with what the recommendation is.
Yes, because anything we do, it has to be an addendum it has to be an amendment to the bylaw.
Each action has to reflect the bylaws. So if the bylaws call for May nominations in a June election, that train has already left the station. The bylaws have to be amended to say, and again, I'm just using it as an example, I'm not recommending anything, that we have in July, you vote on whatever recommendations you want to make. If it's for an election to take place, then the bylaws currently call for a nomination 1 month and then the election to follow. If you want to amend the bylaws in July to say that August should be the nominations and the elections the same night, then so be it. But the bylaws have to reflect the path that the board takes. At least that's the way the law department explained it.
Yeah, any action we take has to be reflected in the bylaws.
There is a section in the bylaws, which is section 10 in the elections. In section C is elections, and number 10 has to do with special elections. And the way it's written is special elections in the event of an interim, this is how it's written, vacancy. A special election would be called with nominations, and then a special election would be held at the next available meeting of the full board following nominations. What I had suggested in my letter is that we change the wording of that provision in the bylaws to say special elections in the event of, and get rid of an interim vacancy, but just in the event of a vacancy, a special election would be called with nominations, and then a special election to be held at the next available meeting of the full board following the nominations. If we get rid of the word "interim," that allows us, that changes the bylaws in such a way that we can proceed. It means we don't have to make a change, which we then have to change again. It changes them in such a way that we can proceed with a July meeting, and we can have the nominations.
But what's the vacancy you're talking about?
Well, the fact that the board is being voted is, you guys are, the executive board is, their term ends on June 30th.
I understood. That's not the way it was explained to me by Steve Gould from the law department. He claimed that the officers of the board stay seated until there's an election. He didn't concur with your determination that the term expires.
Okay, well, that's no one made any comment on the letter that I sent, so I didn't know.
But I mean, there's such a discrepancy between what you say and what Julia wrote, and the only way to correct that is for the committee to reconvene, and again, not leave the room until the report is written, because it's very hard for me to say, well, Trina said this and Julia said this, and like I said, I mean, I'll be honest with you, that's one of the reasons why we asked Julia to come in, prepare the report, and sign the report, because we knew there would be some sort of controversy in this.
So, okay, it's getting late and I know everybody's tired because a virtual meeting, 1 hour was like 2 hours. I appreciate all the feedback we got. I appreciate everything that everybody said. But I think what we need to do is we need to go back to the committee, and we'll see how Julia's health comes along. Either that or we'll just have to appoint somebody to have a meeting with the bylaws committee. So I think we need to go back to the drawing board, and like Jerry said, nobody leaves the room until you come to a consensus, because what we have now, we doesn't have a consensus from the committee.
Well, Madam Chair, I mean, I played back the video recording, and I was able to clearly determine, that Trina's proposals were read and they were voted on. So I feel like maybe we needed it, maybe other
But
members.
Steve, that's a discrepancy. We have not heard that. You heard it, but we didn't.
Yeah, but I sent 3 requests to Julia regarding this and requesting a revision. And then, she only responded to the first one, basically saying she couldn't figure out what was going on. But I told her that I went back and played it back and clearly confirmed what happened in the meeting. And I never heard back from her. And I CC'd you and Jerry on it. And I don't know, it's just, it's really, really frustrating. I mean, it's there plain as day what happened. And like I said, I read 7 of the 8 changes. Trina read 1, and, and they were all, motions, seconds, and votes on all of them. So I don't know how.
At this point, since there's such a discrepancy between the report, I think we just need to drop this conversation. And I think as soon as possible, we have a bylaws committee meeting and everybody get together and discuss that and come back to the full board with a consensus. Okay? Fair enough?
Sounds good.
Okay, so we're gonna Thank everybody for your input. I know this has been hard. It's been hard on all of us trying to get the right rules and regs so we can do this. And nobody is trying to put off the election. We have to do it right and we have to do it legally. So we can't do it by our bylaws. So we're just trying to get legal advice, and that takes time. So everybody's trying to work for the best interests of the board. And I really appreciate all the time and energy that everybody put into this. But I don't see where we can do anything with this tonight because there's such a discrepancy with what you said and what the report said. So we're going to move on. And the next item on the agenda is Parks Department as written. Then we're going to have the public session. Jared, did anybody signed up to speak? Could you please call the speakers, please?
Yeah, Marie, Priscilla, Southside, HOAG.
Am I going to have my 2 minutes?
I gave you the opportunity before.
Okay, so that means I lost it?
You had it, you blew it.
Okay, so can I just say, people, to please, tomorrow is the final deliverable on the work plan that Hester Street Collaborative worked on. And with the zoning guide and the zoning training that we had all agreed that we wanted to happen. And it would be the final deliverable of this engagement as we spend down the discretionary allocation. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. And like she said, everybody make sure to tune in. The budget committees worked very hard for over 6 months to put this presentation together to make sure that we get something that the board could really use. And I think this training is good. And there's been a lot of work put into it. And Hester Street is going to do their presentation tomorrow. And I hope all the board members attend because it's going to be a very good training session. And Maria, you can finish telling us your report tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you to the board budget committee that was meeting every 2 weeks throughout this pandemic. Thank you.
What time is the session?
Well, that's what I said, for 6 to 8 months. So what, Marty?
What time is on tomorrow, the Hester Street presentation?
I think the notices went out today. It's at 6 o'clock, I think. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. It's going to be on WebEx. So bring your dinner.
6:30, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much. It's 6:30 tomorrow, Marty. It's going to be on WebEx. And they'll be showing us everything that everything that they planned. So bring your dinner. Did we send out the second notice for that yet, Maria? We're going to send the second notice out tomorrow. Maybe we should send a second notice out tomorrow so that way people can get it, they can look at it again.
Yes, we will do that.
Thank you. Jared, the person that you call, are they available to speak or they didn't say anything?
Marie, did you unmute the microphone?
Yes, I did. Yes, she's unmuted.
Priscilla, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, you have 2 minutes. Go ahead, please.
Sure. Hi, this is Priscilla with the Southside Homeowners Association. I came and joined this meeting because there were so many concerns of our homeowners within the community of things that have been going on during this whole COVID-19. One thing, I'm going to mention 3 main things. One, the post office that is here in the zip code 11211. The issues that we're having with the mail not being delivered, missed delivery, certified letters being sent out, paid for, and then no accountability. 2, the drug dealing and the selling of drugs that's happening on South 5th Street in broad daylight on a repeated basis. 3, the issue of calling the police, calling 311 throughout this entire 3-month stay-at-home order and getting 0 response from them, a follow-through or accountability on issues that were happening during this time. And we reached out and we've been working with Edward Serena, I believe his name is, from the mayor's office. However, I want it noted at this community board meeting that while we've reached out to the different agencies within our community, we've not heard back even after multiple emails. Just recently, just today, did we get a response back once they understood that we would be at this meeting, and it's disheartening. but would appreciate an understanding where we could get support in regards to addressing the Postal Service. I understand it's a federal institution and we have to go through their offices in Washington, D.C., but if there's any other avenues, we've tried reaching out to people at Nydia's office, but because her office has been closed for the pandemic, we've been unsuccessful in sending emails to contacts that we've had. But the community members within our homeowners association are extremely frustrated, and we've received multiple complaints, and we have a list of 311 phone numbers, reference call numbers that we've made but haven't gotten anywhere. That's it.
All right. Thank you. If you like, if you could forward that information to the office, I would be happy to get them to the respective congressperson.
Sure. I'm not sure if you could put in the chat the email address, and I will forward you the information via email.
So I'll give it to you now. It's bk01@cb.nyc.gov.
Okay, I will send communication.
And I'm here every day, so if you wish to call me further, we could follow up.
Okay,
All
sounds
right,
like
our office has not closed. I've been here every day. I haven't missed a day.
I didn't realize that, and didn't reach out to your agency, but the police department and other areas we have reached out to has been cricket.
Okay.
I will do that. Thank you so much
All
for
right.
listening.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Marie, the next person, Lauren.
Yeah, I'm looking for her.
Lauren Comito from the Brooklyn Public Library.
There she is.
Hi.
Hi, Lauren. Welcome.
Hi, thanks. So I have 2 minutes, right? We have a bunch of stuff going on. I'm Lauren Comito. I'm the manager at the Leonard branch of the Brooklyn Public Library. And I just wanted to come and make sure that I let the community know about what our reopening plans are looking like. We're going to be beginning with lobby services at 6 branches across the borough. In our community, the branch that will be open for holds pickup in the lobby only, so it's like a no contact holds pickup, is going to be Bushwick. And then from there, we're going to expand out into providing limited access to the building in that building and lobby pickup in other buildings as we see how it goes in the first few that we're doing. We are quarantining the books for 3 days when they get returned because that is there have been studies done, and that's about how long the virus lasts on the plastic Mylar covers. It's undetectable after 3 days. So we're going to be asking that people return it, and that it then we'll then quarantine it and then put it back out for people to check out again after that quarantine period is over. In the meantime, there will be no library fines for late books. So if any of you are sitting on a stack of 20 books like I am, don't worry about it. We're not charging you late fees because that would be awful and mean, and we don't want to do that. If there are children that are interested in summer reading is going to be online this year. We've been hosting virtual programs like story times, toddler yoga. I've just finished hosting a series of library dance parties, which was the most adorable thing I've done in a while. And children can sign up for summer reading at Beanstack, and I'll put the web address for that in the chat. And that is kind of it. We've been doing a lot of really great virtual programs. Leonard, one of our staff members, is running a book club, and right now they're reading Winesburg, Ohio, every Wednesday, and doing it 1 chapter a week. So every Wednesday night they meet and discuss the books. Doing a knitting group every Friday at 11 if anyone wants to join. And we have all of our programs are virtual, so anyone across the borough can attend. So if you see something from another library, we're hosting all of our programs on Zoom.
Okay, thank you. And
All
thank
right.
heaven the street is finished.
Oh, is it? I haven't been over there.
Yeah, it's all paved. It's beautiful. It was
Oh,
the, it
fantastic.
was the project from hell, but it's completed and it looks great.
It definitely was.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it's done. I'll have to go look at it.
All right, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Marie, the next speaker, Costanza from Two Trees, an announcement. Are you there?
She's unmuted.
Okay,
I don't know
hello.
why she's not.
Nope.
Costanza, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can, but I can't unmute myself.
Oh, I can hear you.
Oh,
I
really?
unmuted
Can you
her.
hear me now?
Go ahead, yes.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Good evening. And especially thank you for the meditative moment of silence at the beginning. So yes, my name is Konstancja Malaszyńska, and I'm a sustainability consultant at Two Trees Management. And I'm here to inform the board members, as well as the community at large, about two initiatives at Domino Park. So one is our food scrap collection, and which began on June 1st in response to the city stopping its curbside collection pilot program citywide. And our collection is open to the public twice a week, Mondays from 10 to noon and Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m. And we accept household scraps and garden clippings, any volume, free of charge. And we also distribute finished compost to folks. And importantly, we can arrange a pickup or delivery of a larger quantity to a community garden or a tree bed garden if there is such a need for any of the of folks coming by. And you can visit our website at dominopark.com to see the list of accepted items. But the short list is yes to fruit and veggie scraps, coffee grounds, eggshells, and stale bread. And on the no list are biodegradable utensils, meat and fish scraps, and citrus, simply because these take so much longer to process and we need to be able to move these, the volume of the scraps we're getting along, because so far we've collected over 3,000 pounds of scraps that will stay in the neighborhood and enrich our soils. And we are continuing our advocacy around restoring DSNY funding for this important initiative of composting. And second, we are proud to announce that we will begin hosting a Grow NYC Green Market on July 12th. It will run through November 22nd, every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the lot between South 4th and South 5th Streets, between Kent Avenue and River Street. And we will have 7 vendors to start with produce, gluten-free bread, milk and cheese, flowers, and other goodies grown in Ulster, Orange, and Dutchess counties of New York State and Burlington County in New Jersey. So please come say hi from a safe distance, of course, and take advantage of the scrap drop-off and the farmer's market. Thanks, guys.
Great. Thank you. Marie, the next speaker, Khalid El Sayed.
I have not seen him sign up yet.
Okay.
So,
He's not available.
no,
Okay. The next speaker, Marsha Pels.
I don't see her either.
All right. Chair Fuller, back to you. We have 3 elected officials, reps that have signed up. If you want me to proceed or you want to take it back.
I can take it back. We have Eric from Assemblyman Lenthar's office.
Maria's Eric in the house.
He said he was.
Eric.
I think he's gone now.
All right. Next. Madam
We
Chair.
we have Edward Cenero from
Ed Cerna from the mayor's office.
yeah.
Ed, you in the house? Marie?
Yes.
Ed's in the house?
Yes.
Hello,
Let's
can you
go.
hear me?
Hi, Ed.
Hey, hi, Jerry. Hello, everyone. My name is Edward Cerna from the Mayor's Office of Community Affairs. Want to thank the board and Chair Fuller for bringing this together and wishing her a belated birthday as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Ms. Fuller. Just want to quickly talk about some of the issues that were brought up to our office about the open outdoor dining. The Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment released a poster and some signs that were disseminated by the 94th Precinct of Businesses to make it clear that restaurants and bars may only sell alcoholic drinks with food only. It's not as a standalone, and that people must still follow New York City's open container law, which prohibits drinking alcohol on the sidewalk, in a park, or in other public spaces. And so just wanted to talk about a little bit about that. I also want to talk about the task force, illegal fireworks task force that was brought together. I know that that's been an issue all across the borough and the city. 10 officers from the Intelligence Bureau of the Police Department, 12 FDNY fire marshals, and 20 deputy sheriffs are being brought together to go aggressively after suppliers. They're conducting undercover buys, sting operations to bust out-of-state sales coming into New York City. And some of that work is already being had. They stopped some folks yesterday that wanted to bring $6,000 worth of fireworks into the city. Also, the city has entered into partnerships with Macy's to do 5-minute firework performances starting on Monday, June 29th, running through Wednesday, July 1st. These are going to be 5-minute shows, one in each borough, and they're going to be done without notice so that there's no congregating, and it's going to culminate with a larger show on July 4th, and that's going to take place on top of the Empire State Building. Lastly, I just want to talk about sort of COVID and test and trace. The site that is run by H&H, which is Health and Hospitals, for folks to go get COVID testing is at Cumberland, which is 100 North Portland Avenue. The phone number for that site is 718-388-5889. And you can go Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. to go get tested. So if you have any questions, I think I will wrap it up there.
There's a question.
Yes, Simon.
Simon. Yeah, I'd like to say as the mayor's representative, a lot of constituents, residents are complaining about around the Marcy housing regarding illegal fireworks. What is currently being at this moment being done? I heard you mention before, but what is done at this moment? Police are not doing anything to stop the fireworks every night.
Yeah, that's a good question. What I have on my end is you should relay those complaints to 311 if there's sites that you see constantly, having them go off. But again, that sort of falls on PD, so I would direct you to them.
Is there any other questions for Edward? Okay, Marie, is there any other elected reps in the audience or any other electeds in the audience?
I don't see them.
Okay, so that we have no other speakers, right?
Yes, there was Venus who wanted to speak.
Oh, I'm sorry, from the controller's office. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Is Venus there?
Venus Galarza Mullins from the New York City Comptroller's Office. Are you with us? Venus?
I have to unmute her. Can you just wait one moment?
Yeah, I guess we got a couple of minutes to wait.
Venus?
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you. So I'm Venus Galarza Mullins. I'm from the New York City Comptroller's Office. I'm the Brooklyn Borough Director. I know it's been a long night, so I won't keep you. I just wanted to highlight some of our COVID efforts that we've been doing for the past 3 months. One of them is our MWBE workshops and assistance to minority and women businesses throughout the city. If you need any assistance or if you know anybody that does, you can reach out to me and I'll be happy to put you in touch with our diversity team. And I'll definitely leave my number when I'm done with the quick summary. We are also calling on the city to allow NYPD records to be accessible to the public through FOIL. So we written a letter to the mayor's office asking them to consider it, as well as to the Speaker of the New York City Council. And we also have supported the cuts to NYPD by $1 billion over 4 years, or for 1 year. We are thinking of other ways, obviously, to address the $9 billion deficit that is currently impacting our city due to COVID and some of the other shortages that we have. So if anybody has any questions, you can give me a call at 646-689-6817. Again, the number 646-689-6817. That is my direct line, and you can reach me pretty much at any time during the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Venus. Okay, so we have nobody else. Is there anything that's pressing on anybody's mind that they'd like to talk about, bring to our attention? No? Okay, well, I guess that does it. I'd like to thank everybody. I think the meeting was great, our first virtual meeting, and I think we are all getting used to all the controls that we have to use. So if there's nothing else, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, Rob Solano.
Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Karen second.
Thank you, Dallas.
Good night.
Come
Good night.
tomorrow. Please attend tomorrow's training.
I vote against the motion.
Bye. Good night, everyone.
Bye. Good to see you all. Good to see everybody.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Bye-bye. Ciao.
Looking forward to the next Zoom meeting.
Good job, homies.
There you go.
Hello?
Ja, community board meeting was when on Zoom. Okay, jetzt muss ich sagen, der Ruf sucht, haben so zusammen so.
لمش تعمل كده ضروري جيب اشتغلت ميتورة وكمان